Greetings. Today I'm going to talk about Threads. Threads is basically Meta's social media alternative to Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it, that Muskie has basically run into the ground. Why do I put it that way? Because when he bought it, beginning of November 2022, it was worth $44 billion because that's what he paid for it. As of today, which is January 5th, 2024, it's worth $11.3 billion. It has lost 75% of its worth, and it's only going to get worse. And you know what? He doesn't care. He's ready to let it die. And, he's had his fun. He's got to brag once again that he's the richest man in the world. And he's a punk. And a bully. And who cares? Now, what has happened is a whole bunch of the people who were suddenly allowed on the site, because they'd all been blocked when it was still real Twitter, he let all those people come back on. And for a lot of people who decided to try to stay and try to deal with it, the last straw was letting Alex Jones get in. And it has nosedived since then. So, you've got very few choices. You could go join Truth Social, where the Orange Menace is, but that's dying. You could go to one of the other sites. I think there's Mastodon, and there's one called Blue Sky. But Threads seemed to be the place that was set up to basically step in, and it had a way to have more people join in because they connected it to Instagram. So I waited. I didn't want to do anything until I had heard how it was running, see some different people. And it basically opened, I guess you can say 6.5, 7 months ago. And most of the videos that are on YouTube, almost all of them, are within 6 months or 5 months. Or, that's when they were made. I only saw 1 or 2 that were about 1 month. After that, no one's done one in a while. So, it's me. Because I waited. I wasn't sure I wanted to get into it. And the reason I did it is because I had heard that some of those others just really weren't ready. This was going to be easy to join. And being someone who had been on Twitter since 2008, I knew how to work my way around a social media site. You would think that a lot of other people would have also, but it is what it is. So I signed up. When did I sign up? I guess I probably signed up in the middle of November. And then I waited a couple of weeks because I wanted to take a look around before I said anything. I didn't even connect with anybody I knew, because one of the things that you do that's different from any of the other sites is that if you have an Instagram account, because you have to have an Instagram account to be on Threads, then you have people who you can follow, they can follow you. And I just didn't want to be all that open initially. So there you go. Anyhow, if you have the connection to Instagram, you can sign in easily. You sign up easily. You download it to your phone. You can actually get it on your desktop. I know I can do it through Windows. I'm assuming you can do it if you're on Apple. I don't know, but I think you can. And you have to have an Instagram account, and you don't get to change your name. So I ain't telling y'all what my name is. If you decide that you want to find me, you'll find me. I'm not that hard to find. So you just download it. It will ask you what your username is on Instagram. You're basically there. It'll ask you a couple other questions, and you're good to go. So it's easy to do. Now, one of those things you have to know right off the bat is that Instagram is not like Facebook. It's not like a whole bunch of other sites. One of the things about Instagram is that you will see a whole lot of, we'll just say, women who ain't wearing a lot of clothes. They don't allow total nudity, but there's a whole lot of them that get close. And you can get a lot of those folks who end up joining on Instagram. Now look, I am not a prude. In general terms, I don't care. But one of those things you can do on Instagram is you get to decide who you're going to follow. And yes, you will get all these invites to join some of these other sites to go look at it. But that's not why I'm on Instagram. I'm on Instagram because I wanted to be connected to people I knew. And that's how it is. So I've been on Instagram since I think 2012. And I'm still connected to under 200 people there. And the same, the other way. So, that's just me. But the reason I mention that is because I've seen a lot of newer people get on there lately, and they gripe about two things. One are all they call naked people, but no one's naked. Some of them get close, but they're not totally naked. And what they call the angry bots or the Nazi bots or the MAGA bots, whatever that is. Because like I said, they're seeing that Twitter's dying or X is dying, whatever term you want to call it, and they need someone to fuss at. They don't go to Truth Social because everybody agrees with them. They need someone to argue with in order to have some fun or to feel validated. If all you have are people who totally agree with you, you would think that would make them happy. That don't make them happy. You can't stay angry if you're talking to people who always agree with you. That's something interesting. If you're younger, you need to learn that early so that you can decide whether those are the people you want to hang with or the people you don't want to hang with. And the only time people really want to do that is when they start questioning their own sanity, and they need to go find these people who are like them and feel better about themselves. That actually goes both ways. I don't hang with anybody who makes me angry. I don't really hang with anybody, but my friends that I have pretty much believe everything that I believe. Different levels, different degrees, but we're all pretty close to the same. So you have to deal with that. But here's what you can do. You can block, you can mute, you can report, and Threads will shut down some of those folks after a while. They will totally block them where they can't use Threads anymore. I don't know if they get rid of their Instagram pages. They probably don't. But that's just something that they can do if they get on your nerve enough. And one of those weird things is that if they get on the nerve of a whole bunch of people, they're gone. So that's something that Twitter didn't always do for everybody. But, Meta or Facebook, same thing. They have really a different audience. The only thing that you don't have on Threads, at least I haven't seen any, is you don't have any kids. Because I know that Facebook has an age limit. I think it's 13, but I've never seen a 13-year-old on there, so I don't know. But then again, I'm not connected to tons of people on Facebook either. I've never seen, nope, I'm about to lie. I have seen some kids' accounts on Instagram, but part of me has a feeling that it's their parents who are running it. I don't know if that's true, but that's the feeling I get. Well, you don't have any of that on Facebook. So not Facebook, on Threads. So if it's happening, maybe Meta is saying, no, y'all can't be on here. Or maybe, if they're already on Facebook and now they have an Instagram page, maybe Facebook is saying, no, you can't be on Instagram because you're too young. That's just what I'm thinking. So anyhow, that's something you have to deal with. Threads is definitely leaning liberal. I ain't mad at that. Always liberal. That's just me. I don't really care if someone wants to be something else. I just don't want to hear about it. I don't want to see it. I don't want to have to keep getting angry every single day because some of the mess I keep hearing about and reading about. I don't need all that. I wouldn't follow those people anyway. I wasn't following any of those people on Twitter because you could block all that stuff. You could block certain words so that you never saw that. You can't do that part on Threads. You can just block people if you see them popping into your feed, which almost never happens because all those people who were on before me were blocking a ton of those folks. And just before I started getting more invested in it, I guess that's the same time that all the folks who were over on X and decided, hey, there's no one here to fuss at, let me go to Threads, they came over, and a lot of people already blocked almost all those people, so I don't have to deal with almost any of that. And I only had one argument with someone, and this guy was not a MAGA person. This was just a guy who we disagreed on something that was going on in New York City that I'm not going to bring up. And I didn't like this particular thing that was going on. He thought they had the right to do it. I said it inconvenienced a whole bunch of people. And he decided to try to bring up Martin Luther King and John Lewis. No. Now you've overstepped your bounds because you have no idea what you're talking about. I decided to beat up on him for that. Some other people decided to beat up on him for that because now you've gone too far. Ain't seen him anymore. I don't even know if he actually gave up his account or did whatever. But that's the only thing I got into. So, you know, like I said, in general terms, it's a lot calmer place. Now, folks who I've seen who have gone on there and said, no, I don't know if this is any better than Twitter. I'm not sure I'm going to stick around. You know what? Not everything is for everybody. So that's not a big deal. But like I said, it leans liberal. A lot of the people who are on MSNBC, they all have accounts on Threads, which I don't know that they did on X. I know some of the politicians did, but you don't have a lot of the politicians on Threads either, because a lot of those folks don't have Instagram accounts. So, you know, ain't seen no Ted Cruz yet. I haven't seen that guy in Florida who thinks he's got a shot at winning the presidency. He ain't never going to win the presidency. Bobert, MTG, I ain't seen any of those people. I heard that Ted Cruz was on there, but I haven't seen it, and I'm hoping I never do. But there's a lot of these folks that are liberal who are on there. They're doing well. And I don't have a problem with that. I don't have a problem with people who want to just share what's going on in their neighborhood or, you know, in things that they're interested in. A whole lot of things about, like, animals. Cute babies. We all love that stuff. And there's no kind of time limit. So, like, if you decide to upload a video or you're showing a video that someone got off of either YouTube or off a news source or whatever, it'll just play that entire thing, which is something totally different than Instagram, because Instagram used to shorten videos so that you could only have up to a minute. At one point, way back when, they had kind of tested something where they had longer videos, but then they shrunk it. But I guess this is what they've done on Threads. Haven't had a problem with it. Like I mentioned earlier, you can't change your name. They have no plans on changing that right now because they want people to go through Instagram first. It's an interesting way to check people, to verify people. So, yeah, I don't think we're going to see Alex Jones on there anytime soon. I'm not mad at that. So what did I see? By the way, I've got a list here of things I wanted to make sure I stayed with. So like I said, you can block, you can mute, you can comment on anything, you can share everything. And there's a different way where if you decide just to repost something, there's a button for that or a little symbol for that you hit that and it will repost it. If you hold down on that, then you can comment and repost it at the same time. So that's kind of cool. And you basically have, and I'm saying basically, this isn't totally accurate, but in general it is. You can decide whether you want to only see things for people that you're following who are also following you. And that's one of the options that you have. Or you have the For You. And the For You section basically is that it will look at the algorithms. Well, I had trouble with some of these words. It will look at these words or different topics that you seem to, you know, be geared towards watching and reading and commenting on. And you'll see a whole bunch more of that kind of stuff. And I think that's how come a lot of people who are newer get mad all the time because they want to fuss at everything. Or they see the bots and they start fighting with the bots or the Nazis or whoever they are. And then Threads just gives them more of that and they feel overwhelmed. And then you will see the cavalry comes and says, stop talking to those people if you don't want that stuff. Block it, mute it, go away. And it goes away. I haven't had a single one who's come my way. I don't think it's going to last for long. But then again, like I said, I've been on this type of social media since 2008. So I don't go in with the intention of starting any kind of trouble. If I see something I agree with, I'll share that. If I see something I agree with and decide I want to say something, then I'll say something on that. But anything that's like really bad, and like I said, I haven't seen a lot of that. If there's anything really bad or it looks like someone is trying to basically grind our gears, as Peter Griffin once said my God, almost 20 years ago. Sometimes I feel so old, but it's been around for a while. Anyhow, you see that? You know someone's trying to bait you. And, I'm not up for that. So, So, basically, I will say this. If you did okay with Twitter, you can probably do okay with Threads, but you're going to have fewer people initially. And it just may stay that way because, like I said, even though there's a whole bunch of people, you really haven't had as many people who have left as say they're going to leave. Every day there's a whole bunch more people that are getting on there. And at a certain point, you're probably going to have more people there than are on X. And, I have been impressed by seeing some very smart people participating on Threads. Yeah, you still have some throwaways or whatever, but that's just how social media works. No one is ever going to get what they want unless they build their own system and they decide they're going to moderate it. And if you do that, then you have no real discourse. There's really nothing to talk about. And, if you're going to do that, then you might as well just create an Instagram page. That's my story. Anyhow, that's what I've got. If someone has something new, if you have any questions about it, if you want to fuss about it a little bit, y'all let me know. And by the way, I wore this shirt today just to prove I have a different color than red or black. So there you go. Anyway, my name's Mitch Mitchell. There we are. Threads. It's safe. Go give it a shot. Y'all take care.